Happy Good Friday, guys! Today is your last day of school before a whole week off for spring break. Who's excited? Today is going to be a very service-filled day because if we were at school, we'd be doing a simple lunch. So I hope that you'll join me today at home doing that because I'm going to have some simple soup and maybe a piece of toast with it. Keep it really simple, just like we would do at school. And then we would have our afternoon service project. So we'll still have reading and math this morning, but then we do have a service project and a reflection activity to do later on in the day. So good luck with that. I'd love to see your finished product. And I hope you all have a great spring break. I'll see you for our spelling test today. Bye. Hi guys, and welcome to the last day of graphing in math. When we come back from spring break, we're going to have something different that we'll be doing. So we have a little bit more of a test and assessment today. You guys worked on your graphing test where you got to ask the question, and now I'm asking the questions. So in the back of this packet, there are 2 pages. One says vocabulary test and one says assessment. There's not a ton of questions altogether, but it shouldn't take you too long. So you're going to go through it, and the first one says tally chart. Which one of these is a tally chart? So I'm looking a graph that compares data by using picture symbols. That doesn't sound like a tally chart. Describes how likely it is that event will happen. No. A method of collecting data. No. Information. No. A way to keep track of data using tally marks. Oh, there's my clue. A tally chart is a way to keep track of data using tally marks. So I already gave you one. You'll have 7 more to answer on your own. And then the next page, this one says use construction paper to cut out 6 red squares, 7 blue squares, 2 green squares, and 9 yellow squares. You can do that, or you can get those color markers and draw those squares on your paper, and that might give you a visual, which might be a little easier. So I need 6 red squares. I need 7 blue squares, and I'm going to kind of draw them about the same size so I can see which one has more. I need 2 green squares and 9 yellow. So I kind of did a bar graph almost, or like a line plot sideways but with squares. And so you can absolutely cut it out of construction paper or anything that you have if you want, or you can just draw them along the bottom, and that'll be a little bit easier, I think. What color squares do we have the most of? If I drew all the boxes in the same order, I can just look at the picture. If my boxes are different sized or in different places, I might have to count. But I'm not going to give you the answer on this page. I think you can do it on your own. One thing I want to point out, though, is this question right here. It says, explain your answer. You cannot write, I don't know. I want you to tell me, how did you arrive at your answer? And it's talking about this question. So what bar would be the highest on the bar graph? So it's asking you questions. If we made a bar graph to record the data of these squares here, how many different colors would we need to record the results for? Which one would be the highest bar? Explain your answer. So this one, you're just telling me a word or two, which one's the highest bar, and then this one, you're telling me, how did you get that answer? And you can't write, I don't know, and you can't write, because I just know. I want you to use words talking about how maybe you looked at a picture, maybe you drew it, maybe you wrote the bar graph. You need to tell me how you got to your answer. Okay? Good luck, guys. Today is the last day of our Lenten Reflection Journal because today is the last school day during Lent. Today is Good Friday. Today is the day that Jesus died, and it is a great day to sit and reflect about all of the things that Jesus has done for us and the wonderful things that we are able to do because Jesus died for us. You are welcome to keep this journal and keep writing in it because we haven't covered all of the pages. But here's what we're doing today. So we have 2 things to write again today. And one of them says, name one way that you have helped someone else. And so you are going to write a full sentence, or maybe you write a sentence telling how you've helped and then additional sentences giving details. We've been at home for quite a few weeks now, so how have you helped your family around the house? Or maybe you did something for someone else, or you mailed them something, or you picked up garbage outside. How have you helped someone else? Okay, and then on the other side, write one thing that you did to show Jesus that you love him. And that could be showing your self-love, because Jesus loves when we love ourselves. It could be helping someone else. It could be praying to Jesus. We show Jesus we love him when we pray. It could be using kindness. And there are a lot of other examples of ways that we can show Jesus we love him, but here are a few if you were having trouble thinking about ways that you show Jesus you love him. For reading today, you need your reading packet plus your reading checklist, and we have our spelling test today, so you need to make sure that you are ready for that. Go ahead and practice some words if you need to do that first. But then we're going to be talking about plural, which means more than one, and ones that are not very common. So sometimes it's really easy and you have the word dog, you add an S, and now we have dogs. Very simple. We've talked about how when we have the word puppy, we have to drop the Y, add an I plus an ES for puppies. But we are talking about words like life or leaf. Now, if I want to make those plural or more than one, more than one life, more than one leaf, I actually change the F to a V on both of them. And then I add an S on this one, add an ES on this one. So lives, leaves. So life becomes lives and leaf becomes leaves. And you're going to be doing that a little bit today. So in your packet, you are taking these less common plurals. They've already turned them into plurals for you. You just have to fill them into the blanks. And then in your checklist packet, the last page, they are all singular. There's only one of them, and you have to make them plural. So write the plural form of the words listed below. Then use the new words to write a funny story on the lines below. So wife becomes wives, life becomes lives, and then what kind of a funny story can you write using these 10 words here? And that's it for reading today. Okay, because it is Good Friday, if we were at school, we would have gone to Stations of the Cross with the whole school and a lot of parishioners from the community, and then we would go back to our classroom to do a service project. So our service project is going to look a little different today. We would also have a silent afternoon. So I would encourage you to spend some time in quiet today, because today is the day that Jesus died, and it's a really good day for us to sit and pause and think about so many wonderful things that we have in our life because of Jesus. So I have this, it is a sacrifice reflection cross for you to sit and spend some quiet time by yourself, maybe play some quiet music. That's what I would do if we were in the classroom. And you're just gonna sit for a while and think. And coloring is a great way to sit and think because you're focused on something, but it's not something that takes a lot of brain power. And so as you color, you can color in the cross. You can use color pencils or markers or crayons, whatever you have. But the directions say, color a piece each time you make a sacrifice. And we could have used these all throughout Lent, and every day we made a sacrifice, we could have colored it in. But we're going to spend some time today thinking about all of the sacrifices we have made right now. So what are some things that you have done throughout Lent that are a sacrifice? And so you're going to think, well, I know one of the biggest things is I gave up meat on Fridays. That was a sacrifice. And you can start small. It doesn't have to be a huge sacrifice. But I did not eat meat on Fridays all throughout Lent. What was the thing that you also gave up? Maybe you gave up video games, and that was a sacrifice. Maybe you gave up your iPad, and that was a sacrifice. Or maybe you decided to pray every day, and that was a sacrifice because it wasn't something that you normally would do, and you gave up your time playing to pray. What else was a sacrifice? Maybe instead of playing games, you help mom and dad load the dishwasher. Okay, and so you're going to think about all of those things that you have been giving up during Lent. And I know one that we all have in common, and it's a big one, guys. We have all been staying home for the last few weeks. It's a huge sacrifice, I know. We can't see our friends, we're not at school, but we are making a huge sacrifice to make sure that others stay safe. And you know what? You can even color in 2 for that one, because that's a big sacrifice that we were not expecting to make during Lent. And I am so proud of all of you for continuing to work hard at home during this big change. So you can color in 2 for that sacrifice. Okay, and you're going to just keep thinking about some of the sacrifices you have made. And then you cut around the outside, and then you fold on these little flaps here. It might be easier to go backwards like this. And it sets up like this so that, and you can put it somewhere in your house, and it will bring you joy every time you think about all those sacrifices you have made. That's a wonderful blessing to be able to give up your time for someone else. And this is a great reminder. And they can stand up somewhere. So that is the first thing that we're doing. And then the second thing, we've been on a card kick this week making cards. And we are going to make cards for a retirement center where there are older men and women who might not have families, who they can't be visited right now. Nobody can go say hi to them. They might be living alone. And so that is kind of, it makes the day a little bit sad. If you were at home all by yourself all day, every day, you might be a little bit lonely. So we are going to make some Easter cards to mail to them to brighten their day. So I'm going to draw a picture on mine because I think that would make it a little bit brighter. You can draw whatever picture, but remember, this would be kind of like sending a card to grandma or grandpa. It's just not your grandma and grandpa, it's somebody else's. If you want to also send a card to your grandma and grandpa, that's fine. But remember, this is a service project, so we're doing something for other people. So how can you brighten somebody else's day? So I'm going to draw a flower because I think flowers always bring joy. And I'm going to put a sun in there. And I'll continue making my flower here. But I think I'm going to write Happy Easter, because by the time these cards arrive, it will be Easter. And the Easter season goes way beyond just Sunday. So, keep drawing that flower. And then I will show you some things that we can write on the inside. You don't have to write your name. These people are not necessarily sick or anything. They're just cards to brighten their day. So if I were you, I would get a pencil or a pen, not writing in crayon, but just, you can write Happy Easter again. Okay, I hope you have a great day. I am praying for you. And if you want to write your name for our school, you could write, hold on, I'm going to write my name. And then I'm also going to write my school, St. Madeline Sophie School. If you want to include that part, you can. There are a lot of other things that you can write, but we're going to keep them positive and happy to make somebody's day. Okay, but it could be as simple as that. I hope you have a great day. I'm praying for you. Happy Easter. And then I have put the addresses where these can be mailed in the email that went to your parents today. So hopefully you can put those in the mail and brighten somebody's day. Have fun.